I told little Miss Piggy, don't play with me. We're live on the set with Irvin, where we're discussing strategies, execution, technology, teamwork, whatever it may be. Everybody is not ready. Everyone's not, and you'll be surprised how ready you think they are. You won't be surprised. Yeah, man. Sometimes you can care way, way more than you're supposed to. Oh man, I've been recently getting into higher debates with loved ones about, their rituals and their responsibilities and their routines. And like I told you guys from before, once you start waking up and giving yourself the utmost respect, face itching a little bit. That face you hear go back. Shout out to Ever Blessed Cuts, Mr. Paul, you already know. Brooks, OJ, y'all in the building, you already know. Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying? Gotta pull up. Tell them some law sent you. When you start when you give yourself the utmost respect, first and foremost, in the morning, you get yourself, you allow yourself and your spirit and your well-being to not be altered too much by anything else besides what nature has to offer. The things that nature has to offer. Face you hear is the things that nature has to offer. You can't. The things that nature has to offer, you can't control. But you can definitely nurture how you navigate in your behavior to making sure that you have the best solution to getting home or getting to your goal and getting what needs to get done. I'm telling you, there are so many people around you that are inspired. All they do is sit down and watch television. And there's nothing wrong with that. But well, there is something wrong with that. There's something wrong with it if you're saying that you're a person who wants to get big things done. Always being entertained by the rest of the world somehow, some way. Being a person who don't acknowledge greatness when they're in the room with it. There's so many people who don't acknowledge greatness when they're in the room with it. They believe that it comes natural, that it comes for free. And as if they're any better. As if they're any better. But if there were, I wouldn't mind sitting down and listening. See, the education, feeling like you're more than what you are, to those that already know, that can see through you, that could look at you, see that smaller person, that person that just hasn't fully evolved to the fullest potential yet. The beautiful thing about life is that it's all possibility. You have the possibility of doing this, possibilities of doing that, possibilities of doing nothing, possibilities of getting nothing done, possibility to succeeding. But the choice is going to really be yours. And as you guys know, it's very, very few who don't mind being talked to, because there's a saying, talk to people, don't talk at them. And there's also people out there in the world who hasn't been punched in the face yet or haven't got into a fight. That's why it takes skill, patience, style, and grace, and a high drive of performance to be able to show how to navigate in the real world as an educator, as a music artist, as a videographer, as a podcaster, as all these labels that people like to put on each other. All labels, all labels. Everyone isn't going to be doing what we're doing. And for you assholes out there who's watching, just to be looking, I'm glad because I also want to know, and hopefully you got your notepad out and you're taking your notes and you're doing your observation and you realize that what's happening here, what's going on here, is now going to allow you to be able to look at your vision board. What does it look like? What did you actually do? One of my nearest and my childhood friends, Dr. Tosh, Dr. Talk to Tosh. You hear me? Um, been speaking these things since day one. Your purpose. What are you doing today? How are you going to get it done? What's the steps? And that's the cool part about it, you know what I'm saying? Because when you start doing things like that and you're around people who are strategizing, executing with a team, you catch yourself on your set, whatever that may be, classroom, movie set, videography, other areas, drones, models, anything that you could fathom, there needs to be a setting. With that being said, we'll be back. And yeah, man, you have to really, really modify what's going on. And some will and some won't. We'll be back. So you love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where some law comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. With us, there's no more struggling between wants and needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, the governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. So, photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production, Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call us and take the next step to share what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you guys in the studio. I think I'm a little bit ready now. And I guess I will go in 10, 9, 8. I'm going to have to apologize for my last segment. I've been over here, and the new facial hair goes back. It starts to itch a bit, you know what I mean? So this was irritating my face, but I want to definitely try to get the message out. And I don't know if I did. I know I probably did a little bit of babbling here and there. But for those that know what's going on the set, we are figuring out pretty much all of our own individual aspects of how we need to go about things. You know what I'm saying, man? So sometimes it's cool to just sit back and just watch someone also figure out how they got to go about their own thing. But the harsh reality is that the time is going to still pass. And as the time passes, as you continue to evolve and do the things that you want to do for yourself to become better, but by the time the next 2 years go by, everything will be exactly what it need to be. For me, I don't know about you, Some people have 2-year plans, some people have 4-year plans, some people have 5-year plans. That's 60 months, y'all. Some need a little bit more, some need a little bit less. But the time is going to still pass. And the topic that I was really getting at was sometimes you can care too much. And what does that actually mean when they say you can care too much? Listen, man, I done had, friends and family that I done went back and forth with for a long time, dog. I was in Africa, a couple of times, and I was going back and forth with some of my partners on just pretty much how they need to navigate and stop and recalibrate themselves and be more honest with themselves. And it seems like the more and more honest that I become with myself, the more and more I get to see better places in the world and be around better and stronger people, you know what I'm saying, and be around energy that is it's limited. Where you could be places, you could do things. You can really recalibrate how you're navigating in real time. I noticed that a lot of folks, man, when they sit down on these podcasts, they usually got somebody else to go back and forth with and debate with. And I realized that that don't really happen here. That don't happen here. It don't happen here for most of the time because instead of me talking to somebody else to have an understanding, which is great, it's also good that I could talk right to your face. I could talk to you. I could look off and make it look like I'm talking to somebody else. And see how that actually look. Where it look like I'm having an engagement and I feel a little bit more loose and free and everything's moving and vibing and whatnot. And it looks good. But I'd rather look down the barrel instead. You feel me? Rather look at you guys and say to you guys, yo, sometimes you guys give a fuck too much about your friends, your family, your loved ones, your job, how much money you think you want to make, how much time you think you really have. There's an old saying, you want to tell God a joke, tell him your plans. You give a shit too much. Sometimes you give way too much energy than you're supposed to. I caught myself the other day barking on on my ways, cousin, because the excuses that come along with that is not fair. And sometimes, family don't realize they try to poison your mind too. Put things in your head and put doubt. They'll never call you a day in life, but then again, they get into some and then everybody got to run to their side. See, I can't be selective. And I've come to accept when you learn to accept people for who they are, you really won't get disappointed. And I caught myself raising my tone, and my lady was looking at me like, yo, calm down. And he's like, I don't do all the rah-rah. But I'm like, dog, I don't believe that some people actually been checked. And you know what I'm talking about. Because if you're one of those friends, then you know what I'm talking about. It's very few near and dear that actually be like, yo, you know what? You f***ing up. And you never had anybody that told you that you ain't doing what you want to do. You never had anybody that really believed in you, how you think. You did certain things catered for someone else's thought and belief and process, but you ain't really doing what you want to do. You ain't really living how you want to live. You're not. These guys is tripping. What the hell? These guys are tripping. The thought process to actually believe. To believe. Listen, I've seen, as they would say, doctors, lawyers, dentists, construction workers, teachers, let me just say educators, models, photographers, musicians, like rappers, Street, yo, there's an insecurity. There's insecurity all throughout all of those areas. Insecurity in the game and everything. That's why we talk about the quality of your living. How you living, how you representing, how you holding it down. What are you actually doing to make yourself better? With the notes that you take down, listen, you listening to this, but you doing what you supposed to be doing for you. You don't have to look at me. You don't have to look at me. You can be over here, there right now, with your vacuum, cleaning up the corners. I sound like your homie just in the room, just talking about the things I got going on. And you like, yo, word, yeah. And I'm also gonna be doing this and doing that. I got this going on. I got this going on. Jotting down your notes, making everything fall into place. But it was only me just really, really saying it was no more than me 20 seconds, but I really, really let fam know, yo, listen, you yo. And I believe that the family's already been taking a few losses here and there. And it really, really hit home because, I love my lady. I'm in love with my lady. I love her very, very much. So when she is going through things in her family, I am most of the time the first person. And that's no shade because sometimes she's gonna talk to her homegirls about certain things. She's gonna talk to some of her closer, friends that matter to her. So by the time I get home from work, she know I come home from work. I believe she's mindful enough to know that when I come in, I'll be tired. Sometimes I come in, I always go right to a shower, wash the Bronx off me, recalibrate, get into home setting. Even if I'm back here working, I always change clothes because you gotta always change clothes. So always change clothes. So when I care so much about her, I know that when she feels something, she feels hard about it. And it's something that she carries because I know a lot of women that all carry certain things. And me, listen, there's only 10 men in my school. There are only 10 men in the entire school. Public school. This game is, this world is filled with a lot of heavy energy. In my school alone, Monday to Friday, from getting up and walking out the door, just even being on a train, you just you're presented with so much pressure by women, all ages, shapes, sizes, mental developments, of physical, everything, style of fashion, uh, style of approach, the ones that actually say something to you. And yes, there are women in New York who do talk to men. You heard there's a rumor going on that women in New York don't talk to men. Women in New York don't say hello to men. It is not like New Orleans and like Louisiana type females where, where they actually just walk up to you and be like, "Hello, how you doing? What's your name?" It's not that many of women like that, but listen, they are out in New York as well. So if a woman say, "Hello, how you doing?" I'm like, "Fine, how are you?" And they're like, "Everything's going good. My name is such and such." She's like, "Okay, well, nice to meet you. What do you do?" "Oh, I do such and such and such." "Oh, that's cool. Well, my name is such and such and such." You know, going to work, doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? Just left the missus. God, let yourself be clear when you actually out here in honest, open relationships. If you say you don't know who Tanya is, you are out your monkey mind. Everybody know who T is. Impossible to say you know me and you don't know who Tanya is. Exactly, right? Believe that. So I believe that when you are navigating out here, when you're navigating in real time, you have to be mindful of how you spread yourself thin. Because I'm telling you guys, I ended up catching myself for 30 seconds just saying, "Yo, cuz, man, you up, dog. And you got to get it together, man, respectfully, man. And I'm saying it, but I was even more pissed off than that. But I believe it or not, I was bombing though, because I believe some people have not been checked. Some of your friends haven't been told. They haven't been in real life course corrected. They've been course corrected on the books, corporate course correcting and whatnot, and it's not always the formula. That's not always the what's gonna work out here in the real world. And that's why in schools they have like the teacher assistants. They like some of them are like lead teachers. Some of the LTA lead teacher assistants. You have paras. You have different positions, but that's why those people are so important because they become a bridge of language and communication and how they speak to the child. Sometimes the teacher's job is so overview of trying to make sure that all these things are done and every kid is able to retain it, where you have, the parent, the teacher assistant that come in and be like, okay, and do it like this. And oh, now you see it? Look it and show it a few more times in real time. Model it and give all of them if we could do this, if they do this in this time, and this is the amount of students that you have, try to go around and pull each one to give them that extra oomph and then send them right back on their way. Or the ones that's actually trying to laugh and joke around or disrupt, they can just take them. Come over here. Do a quick cool down. 1, 2, 1, 2. There's different ways. Now listen, everything is not a foolproof plan, but this is when science come into play. You get to see what moves people. And you also get to realize and see, even for them, the even for them, even for like listen, for the teachers, they gotta make sure everything is cool as far as an overview. The parents becoming that bridge and being able to have the kid see that they can get the work done, that they can see a little bit more into the formula. You know what I'm saying? After it's been explained. Because sometimes when it's explained, that's one of the hardest jobs. And I don't understand why teachers are not being paid at over 100,000 like starting salary. And my alarm will go off. And that just goes to show you that there's proof in words, power in words. And you can care about people, yo. You can care about people a lot and love your people. I'm not saying to not love your people. But what I am saying is check yourself before you wreck yourself. And when I caught myself, I stopped. Tanya continued to talk. But he was on my phone because he called me. I called him to check up on him. But he was still doing some repetitious things that wasn't in his best interest. And sometimes when you talk with people, if you see something in them and you say something and they tell you that's not it, be mindful how much you speak to them, because you don't want to be a person who's making an observation and they're not hearing you wholeheartedly. And these are real conversations because you're going to talk to people. And when I got spoken to by certain people, I shut up and I listen. And if you sit back and say, hey, I think you wear red too much, and they say, no, I don't do this, I don't do that, and you be like, wait a minute, but you wore it for the past 4 days. And it's one of the outfits twice. If you're not able to tell your people who they are, and they say to you, no, it's not that, and don't really, really shut up and just receive what you're saying to them, that also goes to show how much they listen to you. And if they don't listen to you, they don't wholeheartedly respect you. And if they don't wholeheartedly respect you, congratulations. You see another crack in your shield. We're live on set. We'll be back. Hopefully you come back. I'll be here. Trust and believe that. Promise. You love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Law Entertainment comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. What more could you ask for? With Some Law, there's no more struggling between the wants and the needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters, what you love to do. They're governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call them and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio. You know the wild part about a lot of different things is that I have a beautiful life. Beautiful life. And I mean beautiful life. I mean, with all due respect, I see that a lot of people out there, even if you have a job, I'm talking about you still don't get a chance of experiencing some of the things that I've actually experienced. Excuse me. Hey Siri, please set my alarm for 27 minutes. Thank you. See, having a beautiful life, I've done been courtside of basketball games. I've been to Essence Fest for the past 13 years. I've been to New Orleans every year a couple of times. I've been to Africa. I've been to different parts of the world. I've been on so many planes. I've been in so many hotels. I've seen a lot of amazing things. I did aerial imagery at Black Women in Hollywood. I flew cameras all over the sky. I ride bikes all over New York City. Man, listen, I cook amazing food. I'm around amazing chefs. I do so many different things that I believe that I just really live a pretty dope life. So it's funny how when I sit back and talk about education and talk about how to get yourself in order and talking about how to strategize and execute and using technology and people who ask me questions all the time on how to get things done. I actually had a coworker, shout out to my homegirl. She says, I live vicariously through you. She see me on social media. She see what I'm doing here. She see me doing all these amazing things. And when you catch somebody who's out there that say, yo, I see you, you do this, boom, 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 boom. And she's laying it on top, on top, on top, on top, on top, on top, on top. And it's a realization of, yo, really? Yo, you're right. And that's not me because, I am connected to beautiful people, honest people. People love themselves first and foremost. And you'll be surprised how many people that you may be around who just don't have no respect for themselves. Surprise, surprise, right? So the nerve that when you sit back and you talk about you want to do these things or you would like to, I would like to. Be mindful of those out there who would like to. Because I like to snap my fingers right now and have $1 million end up inside the studio. You heard me? But it doesn't work that way. You have to go for it. You have to see it, visualize it, go for it. And when it comes, when it makes sense to actually deal with it. And when it comes, be careful if you really, really want it. Or if you really deserve it. Because if people would be quick to give you one, they give you 10. So it's mind-boggling when you're doing these things and it puts you in a bigger position of power. And they say, "Hey, what's your show about?" And I'll be like, "Strategizing, education, technology." And she says, "That's boring." But these be the same people who say, hey, how do you do this? Or hey, how do you do that? And also, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And what you been up to? And all these different things, and say, you don't think that there's a plan that's attached to this? You don't think for a second that there's a strategy that's attached to this, or there isn't a strategy that's attached to this silly person? I don't believe that y'all even know what it even looks like or even what it feels like. And it goes right back to what I'm saying. Why would a person who's attached to a parachute that's already off the cliff sailing, you can't, if you're off the cliff sailing, you're not standing there having a conversation with motherfuckers who would never take the leap. Y'all stay at the top of that hill and y'all talk. And y'all look at me and say, "Man, that boy crazy. Well, you know he crazy. You know he don't supposed to be here anyway." And you know this. So we would never have that conversation. But what I did do is I did let them know that while on set, I'm going to talk about it. But it's not about them. It's about several people that you realize that when you look at them and you ball them up, they all make of the same type of person. I don't care about how you dress. I don't care about how you sound, how you talk, walk, what you may pursue to be beautiful. It's still not with grace and or favor. In your young, weak-minded, materialistic fashion for Western society is disrespectful to men of my caliber. And then you got some females who say, "Damn, Irv, yo, I see how you and T be rocking. Damn, yo, hook me up with one of your homeboys." They ain't like me. They're not me. They wasn't raised by Manuel Salgado. They wasn't raised by Shelton Burns. They wasn't raised by Earl Saxon. They wasn't raised by Eddie Thompson. They wasn't raised by Whitfield Craig, Aaron, Joseph, Robert. There were a lot of men that were implemented into my life that really, really showed me direction on how to go, how to navigate, how to recalibrate, how to sit down and shut the fuck up. And course correct me. That's why I do what I do with my others. I treat people a certain way because I know what it's like to be treated like. And it's funny because you'll hear school teachers who will say, "Yo, I live vicariously through you because you do all of these things," and still come back to the community and I see what you do to the children, how you empower them, how you speak life into them, how you breathe into them becoming better, how they look forward to seeing you. Even if they're not in your class, they just love to see you in the building. They just love to hear you in the lunchroom. If you aren't doing all of these things, that's why a lot of moms, they look at me and they check me out and they be like, "All right, well, at least you keep yourself together. I mean, I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but baby, I cut you, you heard me? I cut you. Sharp enough to be able to know how to navigate. To know that when they go home, if they see me in the classroom, they know that their kid coming home with something. Some type of info. And that's enough. Parents are easy to please. They aren't hard to please, believe it or not. If you come home and you say, "Yo, man, I learned this from some law." He said, boom, 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 boom. At least I know that he's breathing life into my child. He's investing time. My kid's not even in his class and he's like over there, yo, high, low five, mid fives, fist bumps, elbows, spirit fingers, giving all that love and just exuding that energy back. Making their parents see it, making them go home, making that a normal implement, like making it, can I say implementation? Yeah, I believe I can. If I can't, I said it now, right? Implementing that into a routine, making it a responsibility to breathe life into your own child, into your own being, into yourself. Because when you do that, you're doing it for yourself. The kid's not going to realize that until you're probably long gone. And when they do, it'll probably hit them like a ton of bricks. But until then, at least they have an understanding if you show them the actual way. If you show them the actual way, they'll actually follow suit. So when people are saying, timer, so if I had to wrap it up, I would say, in conclusion, to people who are saying that they would like to do this, they would like to do that. They would like to start doing so many other things or get back into this or never felt that they were enough to be able to succeed and go elsewhere or even make the attempt. Be mindful of those that are saying that they would. And when you are over here talking about you can make a plan for it, strategize, execute it, and you can get a certain group of people together to make it work, and you don't follow suit, it says all I need to know about who you are and what you think you know and what you think you believe. See, even with hearing this, I would love for it to be picked apart. Because whatever you may say, I need you to put my credentials attached to it. Just make sure that you attach the credentials that come along with who I am as a person when you mention my character. I want to hear about who you are and what you do at your job. Your job? That's it? That's all you have to offer is that you are a hard working woman. Sometimes just saying one thing and doing the other is not going to be enough. Sometimes throwing all your baskets and eggs or your eggs into the basket for just solely God and not really looking at people for who they are is not going to be enough. There is a zero tolerance. Once you become honest about who you are, you'll realize that listen, life has so much to offer. When you really give yourself the time. So for you not to have a strategy, I know for a fact that you do not know how to execute with a team. I don't care how good you are with your coworkers, but how you are away from the rest of the world, we see exactly who you are. And with that being said, you cannot have conversations with people who are under 170 miles per hour. The vehicle don't even move the same. And you'll really get to understand what those 30 miles per hour is once you start touching over 140. With that being said, don't let anybody and anything deter you. Just continue to do what you have to do. And yes, they will say, oh, hurt much? Not hurt. Made it a subject. Follow suit. And allow anybody else who may think for a second that is not about your sole responsibility, risk, cost, and expense. We're live on set. We'll be black. I'll be black. Just be back. Yeah. You love creating. You love music. And you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where some entertainment comes in. Guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track, if you know what I mean. With us, no more struggling between the wants and the needs. Get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, Governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Someone has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer, yeah? Call us and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I've been on the scale daily. Been on the scale daily, getting my weight aligned. Just modifying my body, becoming molding a little bit more, tightening up. You know what I'm saying, man? Definitely gotta tighten up because I told you guys in New Orleans, dog, I got right. You know what I'm saying? I got all the way right, believe it or not. Ate like a true fat boy, believe that. Um, what what I noticed that's going on is again this is I no, don't mean to. I'm not going to be if you're doing something for yourself and when you play it and you release it, whatever it is, or you let it go, I don't care if you're showing a picture, if you're doing the modeling, you're showing music, I don't care what you're doing, whatever it is. I mean, I love what you're doing, but I don't care as far as, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're putting it out there and when someone gives their opinion on it, if it stops you from doing what you're supposed to be doing, then I don't believe that this is designed for you. Because when it stops you, I catch a lot of creators. They all they all fall back. They go back into this It start fake disappearing. You know the fake disappears. Fake disappears. People who want to shut the world down, want to you know go about go about lying to themselves. See it again. It goes right back to it. People who lie to themselves. People who crave to be but at the same time don't understand what that actually means. The people who aren't honest with themselves. And there's a difference between those type of people because you have to be mindful of those people because those people aren't always the best people to be around, believe it or not. Everybody want to deactivate their account. Everybody want to let themselves go. Everybody want to, go harder and think more about getting themselves in order where it's like you have to not fake disappear. You have to disappear. You have to be gone, far removed. Don't act like you want to be away and don't be away if you want to be close. Don't fight and test people. If you don't know how powerful people really are, Don't try them. Because you will be surprised to realize. Listen, there's several people in this thing called success. You're not going to all the way forever with. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to learn how to also let them go. You're going to have to also learn how to recalibrate and realize that sometimes, your spirit, your body your spirit overstayed its welcome to this body. This body deserves a better spirit replacement. Somebody who now claims new ownership over. New ownership. You're not ready to own yourself. That's why it's so hard. You're not ready. You're not ready to own yourself. You're not ready to put down all the things that may throw you off. You're not ready to release all the things that are really, really hindering you, stopping you, holding you back. You're not ready to let it go. You're not ready to try. It's comfortable. It's easy for you to be comfortable. You don't know what the pain feels like to work and to push and to aim to make people get to the next level, and they don't see it. When you see it more in people and they don't see it, and then they want to remove themselves and they treat. See, that's the problem. See, those that tell you about yourself, ooh, baby, we get shit on quick. It's up in my eyes. Come on, they tell you quick. They will tell you quick. People that tell you about yourself, they will tell you quick. And when they do, for some reason, we get the shaft because a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. They don't like to, and when you do, the antennas go up because they don't want to be seen in any other light besides right. And for those people, we pray for them. And as I tell you guys, the harsh reality is, as they fake disappear from you, you make sure that you permanently disappear from them. Because I tell everybody, the apology has to be louder than the disrespect. The apology has to be louder than the disrespect. And if it's not that, there's nothing else to really, really discuss. Stop fake disappearing. Be honest with yourself. Recalibrate. And as we tell you guys, don't play with these hoes. We're live on set.